Good afternoon, friends. We thank the Lord for giving us an opportunity to be part of this camp meeting. It's a different one for the Trans Orange Conference. It's a special one as well, but nevertheless, we are grateful to God for the opportunity to hear His word, an opportunity to pray to Him, an opportunity to praise Him. Today, I'm going to speak to us about the work that the church is doing in the Trans Orange Conference through Meals on Wheels community services to make a difference in the community. Meals on Wheels Community Services Trans Orange Conference is a non-profit organization that is registered with Social Development as an NPO. This makes it to be unique and different from the other normal church departments that are just church departments. But Meals on Wheels, together with ADRA South Africa, are non-profit organizations that are registered with the NPO Directorate. In this presentation, I'm going to explain about what Meals on Wheels does, and I'm also going to have a special report on what we have been doing as Meals on Wheels, especially through this COVID-19 period. Meals on Wheels was founded in 1964. It was founded by Dr. Dennis Bett. When Meals on Wheels started, it started off in a 7-day Adventist church. It was founded by an Adventist pastor, and it also started in a 7-day Adventist church. It has meaning that Meals on Wheels has always been a program of the 7-day Adventist church through which the church impacts the community through community services and makes a difference in the lives of those who are less fortunate. Our mission as Meals on Wheels is to transform lives through charity in motion. The word transform speaks to more than giving of food to those who are hungry, but it speaks to a holistic approach to development. In order to develop a person fully, we have to look at a holistic approach to development. So this is what we try to achieve as Meals on Wheels, and I will explain this later on in the presentation as to how we try to achieve this. Charity in Motion speaks to the fact that the uniqueness of the Meals on Wheels project is in that people come to our centers for a meal and other developmental activities, and those who cannot come to our centers because of distance and physical challenges, we are able to bring the help to them, to the closest center to them, or most of the time, even at the homes of those who are sick, who are frail, who cannot move from their houses. Our vision as Meals on Wheels is a hunger-free South Africa. Is it possible in our lifetime? I'm not sure. But as long as there's a child who sleeps on a hungry stomach, we have to keep trying. As long as there is a patient who has to take medication on a hungry stomach, we have to keep trying. As long as there's an adult, a pensioner who sleeps on a hungry stomach, as Meals on Wheels, we have to keep on trying to achieve our vision of a hunger-free South Africa. The relationship of Meals on Wheels with the Seventh-day Adventist Church, it is stated clearly in our constitution that Meals on Wheels is owned and operated by the Seventh-day Adventist Church. In other words, through Meals on Wheels, the church is mobilized to make a difference in the community, partnering with the community. The structure of Meals on Wheels, we have in the middle MOX SA, which stands for Meals on Wheels Community Services South Africa, which is our national body. And then beneath the national body, there is Meals on Wheels at the various conferences, which we call area offices, like Meals on Wheels Community Services, TOC. And then beneath the Meals on Wheels at the conferences or area offices. It's Meals on Wheels in the community or in the churches. The Meals on Wheels in the churches are affiliated to Meals on Wheels at the conferences or area offices. Meals on Wheels at the conferences or area offices are affiliated to Meals on Wheels at the union, which is Meals on Wheels Community Services South Africa, which is the national body. In the TOC area, the TOC covers 6 provinces. Meals on Wheels TOC has affiliates or centers or branches in Gauteng. We have branches in Limpopo. We have branches in the Free State. We have branches in Mpumalanga. We have branches in the Northwest. We no longer have branches in the Northern Cape, even though that is still the territory of the TOC, as the TOC has churches in the Northern Cape. However, churches in the Northern Cape are encouraged to contact the nearest Meals on Wheels office to them, which is the Kimberley office. And the Kimberley office, even though it's under the Northern, the Cape Conference, but it is willing and able to assist the churches which are in the Northern Conference, in the Northern Cape rather, because of the distance between the Northern Cape and the Trans-Orange Conference, whereas the Kimberley office is nearer to the TOC churches which are in the Northern Cape. As Meals on Wheels Community Services, we are inspired by Luke chapter 2, verse 52, which says, "And Jesus grew in wisdom, in stature, and in favor with God and men." This informs our approach to development, which I stated earlier that it is a holistic approach to development. Jesus grew in wisdom intellectually. He grew in stature physically. He grew in favor with God, that is spiritually, and also in favor with men, that is also socially. So as Meals on Wheels, we try through our partners, and which are other civic organizations, relevant government departments, professionals from the community, professionals from the church. We try to develop our people holistically so that they don't only come for a plate of food, but they also get supplementary and complementary services that will enable that are enabled to empower them individually. As opposed to giving a plate of food, many people, when you ask them about the work of Meals on Wheels, they will tell you that Meals on Wheels gives food to the hungry. But Meals on Wheels does more than that. At Meals on Wheels, we are not just about giving a plate of food. We have programs. We usually call this a basket of services instead of a plate of food. But our service delivery speaks to a basket of service. We have programs that speaks also to our approach, which is a holistic approach. And I'm going to briefly take you through our different programs at Meals on Wheels, which we try that each and every branch of Meals on Wheels to adopt at least one of the programs so that we are able to offer a skills development programs besides giving out meals only. The first program of Meals on Wheels, which we are mostly known for, is what we call a feeding program. This speaks to a program whereby our beneficiaries from the community, the elderly, unemployed youth and adults, people living with adults, children, they come to our centers and they are served a cooked, nutritious meal. And those who cannot come to our center, we are in branches where we have vehicles, we are able to bring the meals closer to them, and most of the time, even at their homes, especially to those who cannot physically move from their homes due to physical challenges. So the first program is the feeding program. Barbara Eckwell said the right to food is not a utopia. It can be realized for every woman, man, and child, even in the times of crisis. We don't have an excuse. Even in the times of crisis, we can be able as the world to provide food even to the most needy, because in this world we produce enough food for everyone. We have enough food for everyone. Yet, in spite of that, there are people who sleep on a hungry stomach. John Hudson, the national head of agriculture at Nedbank, said, 1/3 of all food produced is wasted. Yet that wasted food could feed the world's malnourished 4 times over. 4 times over. As I said, the world produces enough food for all of its citizens. Even our country, South Africa, we have enough food for everyone. Hence, we are able to export food. Hence, we have excess food. But the problem is that most of the food is wasted. Some of the food that is wasted, if we were to take it into consideration and count it, we can discover that it's tons and millions of tons, which can provide food and enough nutrients for everyone 4 times over. We have enough food for everyone. It is said that in spite of this fact, there are people in this world who still sleep on a hungry stomach. That is why, as Meals on Wheels, one of our programs is to provide nutritious meals to those who are less fortunate, to those who are hungry, to those who don't have access, to those who don't have means to acquire their own food. Our second program as Meals on Wheels is agricultural projects. As Meals on Wheels TOC, we have embarked on establishing agricultural projects throughout the territory of the TOC, in Mpumalanga, in Limpopo, in Gauteng, in the Northwest, and also in the Free State. Through these agricultural projects, we are able to generate an income for Meals on Wheels so that we diversify our sources of income and not be overly reliant on donations from the public. So this project serves as an income generating project, and it is the beneficiaries themselves who come for a meal at our centers who participate in the agricultural projects. These cabbages are produced by our beneficiaries in Mpumalanga area, Elukwatini area. The chicken farm you see in the middle, this is in Thohoyandou. Those chickens are taken care of or are looked after by beneficiaries of Meals on Wheels in Thohoyandou. The spinach you see is produced by our beneficiaries also in Elukwatini, Mpumalanga. In the Gauteng area, we have a tunnel farm which is in Van der Bijl Park in partnership with Sebokeng Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels through this branch produces spinach, chomolia, tomatoes, and pepper. These are all produced by the same beneficiaries who come for a meal. It is touching to see the same people who were coming to beg for a food, moving from being beggars to being producers. It is very exciting. So Meals on Wheels is able to sell these tomatoes, to sell these vegetable produce, and generate an income for the project, and also be able to pay a stipend to the beneficiaries who participated in this agricultural project. As part of the agricultural project, Meals on Wheels has been able to get SETA accreditation for agriculture, which means that we are now able to provide accredited training in agriculture for our beneficiaries. We are excited that we have been able to train women in agriculture. We've been able to produce the young people in agriculture so that the very same beneficiaries who get a meal at Meals on Wheels also participate in enabling Meals on Wheels to have the money to buy food that they are going to benefit from as beneficiaries. But in so doing, we are also empowering our beneficiaries so that at home they can be able to have their own gardens and produce their own vegetables for their personal consumption. Meals on Wheels, our third program in the TOC is education. Through our centers, our elderly are able to participate in adult education. This is through our partners, other organizations who come to our centers, and then they provide our elderly people with accredited adult education to complement the meals and other activities that they participate in our centers. Our fourth program as Meals on Wheels is handwork, especially for the pensioners. When the pensioners come to our centers, they get a meal and then they are also taught handwork. This is also an income generating project for the branch. It is also an income generating project for the pensioners so that they are able to get something and be able to buy food for their households. In one of our centers, they make bags, they make key rings, they make shoes, and other different things which are displayed in the pictures. Our elderly people in some of our branches also participate in sewing and knitting. These are sold as well to the public, and the money, a small percentage goes to the center, and most of the money goes to the pensioners who made these items. Our pensioners also participate in wonder bag making. I like this one. It speaks to climate change because it helps us to reduce our carbon footprint by reducing our usage of electricity. What you do with a wonder bag is you will take your pot of legumes, you will put it in a stove, and once it is boiling, you will switch it off, and then you take the pot and place it in the wonder bag, and then the wonder bag preserves the heat so that after some hours your meal is then cooked. So you are saving your electricity usage, you are saving on your gas usage by using a wonder bag, which I call a natural slow cooker. So some of our elderly people in some of our centers are participating in wonder bag making, and these as well are sold for an income for the elderly people and also for the center. In our branches, the elderly also participate in physical activities in order to prolong their lives. Meals on Wheels also has a special program which we call a recycling project. Through our recycling project, we encourage all our beneficiaries who come to the center for a meal to come with at least 2 recyclable items. We call this food for waste or waste for food. So when they come to the center for a meal, they then come with two recyclable items, a minimum of 2 recyclable items. These are collected, and then when we have collected enough, we then take them to a recycling center and we sell them for a fee, and the money is put back into the center. It is then used to buy more food for the beneficiaries. This helps in creating awareness about pollution. It also helps to clean our communities. It also helps to create ownership about the project, that you might not have money to contribute towards the meal you get, but there is something that you can do towards the sustenance of your project. Meals on Wheels has partnership with the local municipality, City of Joburg, City of Tshwane, and in the other municipalities where we are operating. And we also have an MOU with COGTA, Department of COGTA, to assist in times of disaster. Whenever there are disasters in the TOC area, we are amongst the first organizations to be called. And we then mobilize our sister organization, which is ADRA South Africa, DOCAS, Adventist Youth, Adventist Men, community services, and then we all go together as the Trans-Orange Conference departments to make a difference in the various communities in their time of need. These are some of the places that we have partnered with the other church departments, especially community services in the TOC, to make a difference through meals, to make a difference through donations of clothes, to make a difference to rebuilding of burned houses and homes. During the lockdown period, Meals on Wheels TOC had a special intervention program where we partnered with government, National Social Development. We partnered with Gauteng Social Development. We partnered with other NGOs like Food Forward SA, Kirinox, Sanka, and many other NGOs. We also partnered with corporates like Food Lovers, Sanlam, ShopRite, Old Mutual, just to name a few, and many others corporate. We partnered together to make a difference during this difficult period in South Africa. As a result of this partnership, Meals on Wheels TOC during the lockdown period was able to provide 2.5 million meals between the month of March and the month of August, in spite of the strict government regulations which prevented us from having our normal operations. As Meals on Wheels TOC, we were able to be creative, to adhere to the lockdown regulations, yet at the same time still be able to provide meals to those who are needy. Hence, we are happy to announce that we were able to provide meals which are 2.5 million meals to those who were hungry during the lockdown period. During this lockdown period, Meals on Wheels TOC, through its partners, was able to provide a total of 54,000 food parcels throughout its territory. We are grateful to our partners who made the funds available. We are grateful to individual donors, members of the church, members of the public, different churches who donated to Meals on Wheels, and through their donations, we were able as Meals on Wheels to distribute 54,000 food parcels in addition to the cooked meals that we provided. During the lockdown period, Meals on Wheels partnered with the City of Joburg, with Social Development, national and also provincial. And through this period, we were tasked with providing food to homeless people who had been removed from the streets of Gauteng and placed in different shelters. On the screen are the names of the shelters that we provided with meals during this period. And for this program alone, we were able to provide 400,000 cooked meals for the homeless people who have been placed on the different shelters. We continue to provide these meals, even though it's no longer at such a larger scale, but we have an agreement with government for us to continue, especially in Johannesburg, and we hope that this project will continue for the duration of those shelters for the homeless people. What can you do to support Meals on Wheels? Or what can you do as a local church when it comes to community services? The first thing you can do is to challenge your church to establish a community service program that is relevant to the needs of your community. The needs of communities differ from community to community. Hence, before we go in to assist a community, we need to do a community needs assessment, which basically means we need to speak to stakeholders like community leaders, your counselors, pastors from different denominations, policemen and women, other NGOs that are in the community, government workers like social workers. We need to speak to them and find out about the needs of our respective communities, so that when we start a community project, we are then able to start a project that is relevant to the needs of our specific community. Not every community needs a Meals on Wheels. Not every community needs a Meals on Wheels. Some communities need different interventions, but each and every community has a specific need. Challenge your church to establish a community service program relevant to the need of your specific community. What else can you do? Seek for alternative sources of funding. Many churches call us to apply to request for funding for Meals on Wheels for community services. Meals on Wheels does not have funds to fund all the churches. And churches also don't have funds to fund all their community service programs. Hence, as churches, we need to seek for alternative sources of funding for our community service program. There's funding available from government, there's funding available from corporate, there's funding available from individuals. So we need to explore all those diverse sources of funding, so that with the little we have, when we add it with that which comes from the other sources, we can then be able to make a greater impact in the community. The third thing that we can do is to encourage our church members, our family members, our neighbors to volunteer at Meals on Wheels centers. Meals on Wheels centers are spread throughout the conference. Please speak to your pastor to find out about your nearest Meals on Wheels center, or you can also call us at the Trans Orange Conference, the Meals on Wheels department. We will tell you which center is closest to your church or to your neighborhood. And please come and volunteer in our centers. We need your skill. We need you to come and help with your God-given gifts. The fourth thing you can do, it is to help to fundraise for Meals on Wheels. The need out there far exceeds what any individual person can do. How much more Meals on Wheels, which is a non-profit organization that relies on donations from the public, donations from the church, donations from church members. Government also may not have the resources to help everyone. That is why, as Meals on Wheels, we also need help in fundraising, so that we can be able to do more than we are already doing with the limited resources that we have. The easiest way to donate to Meals on Wheels is to SMS the word meal to 39055. SMS the word meal to 39055. That is the easiest way to donate to Meals on Wheels community services. Alternatively, you can call us on our WhatsApp line, which is also our contact number, 072 746 2813. 072 746 2813. You can also send an email to info@mealsonwheelstoc.org.za, and then we will be able to assist you to make a donation to Meals on Wheels, or with any information you might seek from Meals on Wheels. We want to appreciate the slot that we've been given by the Trans Orange Conference, our our conference leadership to share with the TOC family about the work that the TOC is doing in the TOC territory through Meals on Wheels to make a difference in the community. Thank you.
Be thy vision, O Lord of my heart, not be all else to me, save that thou art. Thou my best thought, by day or by night, waking or sleeping, thy presence my light. Be thou my wisdom, be thou my true word. I ever with thee, and thou with me, Lord. Thou my great Father, I thy true Son. Thou in me dwelling, and I with thee one. Riches I heed not, nor man's empty praise. Thou mine inheritance, now and always. Thou and thou only, first in my heart. High King of heaven, my treasure, thou art. High King of heaven, my treasure.